And joining me now for Morning Combat is a gentleman who will be on the main card of UFC 299 when he returns to action after a bit of a layoff when he takes on Jack Della Maddalena in Miami. A Miami man himself. It is, of course, Gilbert Burns. Hi, Gilbert. How are you?
Doing great, Luca. Thank you.
How are we feeling? What's the hair plan for 299? What's it going to be on that day?
We're gonna do some braids. It's gonna look nice. You're gonna braid a little bit. It's gonna be
Okay.
nice.
All right. I look forward to seeing. Hey, let's back up a step, right? You're fighting UFC 299, but you've been off
Yes.
since your fight to Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah.
The issue was a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
So my reading on this apparently is that you could have had surgery, you did not get it, and
Yeah.
instead you got stem cells. Did I get all of
Yes.
that correct?
Yes, you did. But by the doctor, the doctor say, hey, you know what? Shoulder is the best, because it was deltoid injury, AC joint. I still had a trapezius muscle tear. Was bad. But he said, but I I don't want. It's a surgery case, but you open to try a stem cell treatment, then we'll see. I say, yes, I don't want to get the surgery. He said, let's do stem cell right now. Don't do anything. Don't run. You just can walk, but don't grab. You can't do anything for a month. After a month, you come back, and then we'll see if it's getting a little bit better. You don't need the surgery. So after a month, I went back, and they say, oh, it's really healing. It's getting better. Stem cell is doing good work with you because with a lot of people, it don't work like that. And then we put another stem cell right there, and it start getting so much better. Total, we did 3 stem cell shots, and after 3 months was kind of regenerated, was getting better, and then we slowly started the PT. So it was all the way to November until we get totally clear and get back to training. So it was a little hard path, but was necessary. And then I could avoid the surgery. It's just a little. I have a difference right now. The left shoulder is a little bit taller than the right shoulder. It's just a little thing, but I don't lose no movement, no range of motion. It's all good.
Okay. So a bunch of follow-ups because I am somebody who has actually had shoulder surgery and I have complicated feelings about it. But the first thing I want to ask is for the stem cell, you obviously have to do that in a different country, right? So what was that process like? Like actually getting stem cells?
So the process, I was going all the way to Colombia where they do, but back then USADA is still in the UFC, and I was talking to Jeff Novinsky, and then he said a couple athletes that went all the way to Colombia to get this treatment, they got caught with I forgot what the substance is. Everyone's kind of using for pain and everything. Shit, I forgot, but they said because they put stem cell and they put another steroid. It's not a steroid, but it's
A
every,
medical sort of a medical
yeah,
steroid
all
for
the
yeah.
grapplers are doing that help with the injury, the recovery. And he asked me to not go there because they kind of put extra things in the stem cells. And they had a company all the way in Salt Lake City they will give to the UFC. So that's what I did. I did heal my Dr. Gilbert here in South Florida. UFC bought the stem cell in Salt Lake City. They sent over here. They flew here. In the morning, I put the stem cell. We did that 3 times.
Hmm. So UFC paid for this?
Yes, UFC paid for these. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now, the last question I have about this is you had in a different interview said that the tear you had in your ligaments, it was almost all the way gone, not
Yeah.
fully. So, the stem cells, does it actually regrow the
Yes.
ligament back to where you so
Yes.
yeah,
He
okay.
did the regrow because it was tingling. It was kind of like was almost rip it apart. But that's what we did. We did the stem cells and we wait a month before I do any PT, any something. I was holding my arm, I was doing anything, and then was regenerating, was getting better. The ligament was kind of getting together. We did the second one and accelerate that a little bit, and eventually with PT with everything, got all the ligaments back.
Hmm, amazing. And then, as you said
Crazy.
today, because the shoulder is a complicated joint, right? It can move in a bunch
Yes.
of different directions. You
Yeah.
feel like you've got
One
stability,
one
strength, all that.
hundred percent. I got everything. 100%. I can punch. Left hook is stronger. I don't know why.
You might need it. All right, so you're a smart guy, Gilbert. Let's talk about Jack Della Maddalena. I know
Okay,
you've done a bit of some scouting on him, probably a
for sure.
significant amount. When you look at him, what do you see?
I see a tough dude, physically very strong, young, hungry, a good boxing, both stance. He's orthodox the way I see, but he plays good southpaw, good defense. good body shots, good sprawl. It seems that he likes to grapple a little bit. I saw a couple interviews that Craig Jones kind of grappled him a little bit and said good things about it. I know he can grapple just because his fight with Brazil, he tried a couple guillotines. If you don't grapple, you're not going if you're gonna try, The way he was trying, I say, oh, he can grapple. So I think he is a completely package, He can grapple, he can defend a takedown. I don't think takedown defense was the most impressive with the short notice, but I think he's a danger fighter, with a good motivated fighter in front of him. If he beats me, he's what top five, top four right there, very close to a title shot. I think he's gonna be super danger at that night.
The guy you mentioned who he had the short notice fight with, Basel Hafez.
Marcel Hafez. Yeah.
Yeah, do you attribute the what do you want to call that relative underperformance of Della Maddalena? Is that because the opponent was last minute, or is there something more about the style and the sort of strategic approach that guy took?
I see the two ways to see it. I see you could see that, you could see change it upon it. But the only thing was it should be Sean Brady. Like, see, I think Sean Brady would maybe do the same that the guy did. But another thing that I'm seeing, okay, was Sean notice the guy was kind of awkward, different style, and was that apex cage, way smaller, so that guy run through a takedown. I kind of can give that. Okay, maybe it was a little bit off night, changing opponent, change the date. He's supposed to fight the next day, extra day in Vegas, fight on the next week. It might be that too, but or it might we're gonna find out March 9th, but or we see a little path right there.
In terms of maintaining performance,
Okay.
I know you train at the what's it called, the Institute for Human Performance. I believe that's the name, right?
I used to, yeah, not anymore, not
Not
anymore.
anymore. So where do you
Yeah.
go to for that similar kind of training that you got there?
Yeah,
Where do you go now?
I do. I have a Brazilian physical therapist, strength conditioning coach that's kind of like helping me more. We kind of doing, I'll say, kind of the similar style, but with less weight, more cardio in movement. We're still doing a circuit. We do every Saturday. We do in my garage. I have a garage with mat, with Versa climber, bike, weights, everything. So we do here. But we do a regular strength and conditioning, cardio, strength, but not as big weights that I used to do.
Why the change?
My body was crying. Was a lot of little injuries, a lot of little things. Was a lot of, like kind of overtraining. Sometimes in the middle of the training, feeling fatigue the day of the sparring. Now we kind of just load. You're still doing, but not as I used to do.
Yeah, fair enough.
We did a
Okay,
couple
so but
changes.
my question is this, like, do you have on a piece of paper measurables about like what
Yeah.
you know your VO2 max to be or other kinds of metrics that matter to you so that you always know, hey, this tells me I'm in shape because I can see my numbers
Yeah.
are the same
I
camp
do.
over camp.
I do. I got that freaking aura ring. I got the everything. I got all the numbers, and my coach are saying I don't. I wouldn't know. I don't have with myself. I don't. I don't see a lot, but I always want to know how I'm doing. How's the numbers? Everything is. But they check everything. My strength conditioning got all the tests, all the numbers.
So part of the reason I ask is because you may be aware of the statistic that basically in your weight class, 170 pounds, and this is not a title fight, but obviously that's
Okay.
going to be one of your goals. But
Yes.
in title fights, only Tyron Woodley in two different occasions, Demian Maya, and then excuse me, the gentleman from England, Darren Till, excuse me.
Okay.
Those are the only two times someone over the age of 35 has either won or defended a UFC title at welterweight. You're 37, your opponent is 27. To what extent have you given thought about your age and what that means for your performance?
Uh, I give it thought easily here at the gym when I see freaking Jason Jackson with a fighting against what's the guy that he just beat? Oh my God, the
In
former PFL.
PFL
Yeah,
Bellator?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Ray Cooper, poor
Yeah,
bastard.
I was being freaking Ray Cooper, and I was doing great against Jason Jackson. And I think I have a lot of high level teammates that I can literally share daily experience grappling, sparring. And those guys are younger than me. They hungry too. But if I still, well, let me say that good. When I still testing myself in beating and doing the high level things with these guys and make the best decision on training and being as competitive as these guys, I still like to compete. You know, whenever the little hunger goes, my hunger goes down, my fire goes down, and I cannot compete with these guys at the gym anymore, I'm done. But these guys that compete on the highest level when you and we beating each other in the gym, you know, like I'm being Ray Cooper for this guy and giving him freaking 5 crazy rounds. I know I still get everything, you know. I don't, to be honest, Luke, I don't care about the age so much, you know. I care about my body, I care about the way I think, I care if I still have it, if I still have the fire, if I'm taking care of my body. I don't drink, I don't go out, I eat a little bit. I love to eat, but I don't eat as crazy. But that's about it. No drugs, no smoke. My body's freaking healthy, bro. I think if you get my body and get someone else's body and we do the chronological age, I'll be way younger than a lot of these guys.
Hmm. Yeah, and you have world class training partners. So if you're doing well against them, it's a pretty good measurement about how you'll
Yeah.
do elsewhere. Uh, in terms of Jack Della Maddalena, what would you say that you have, either from experience or skill, that he's never faced?
What I have that he never faced. I have a lot of experience that I think the mix it up. If I look his last opponents, Kevin Holland, Basil Hafez, Danny Roberts. We got the Russian dude. We got a lot of high level guys that he fought, but no one I think possessed the power that I do, the grappling that I do, the high level competition that I face. I think really putting it all together, the grappling, the wrestling, the heavy hands, the movement, the experience. Freaking April's 10 years that I'm in the UFC. So I think that all he haven't seen yet. That all together, high level grappling with a good wrestling, strong guy that punches very hard, he's quick. I think putting all that together is gonna be a little problem for him.
You mentioned Craig Jones. I wonder what you think. Yeah, he's obviously he loves to joke, and I love his jokes. I actually think he's hysterical, and I honestly think that like jujitsu needs people like that,
For
people
sure.
who are not so
I agree. I
crazy all the
agree.
time. But I wonder what you make of what he has taught, because I've watched many of his instructionals, and one thing he's big on is like, forget about how points are scored, but like what is functionally
Yes.
valuable. Like he goes back to Turks and pins and rides.
Yes.
It's almost like catch wrestling, but a little bit more jujitsu-y. What do you
Yes.
make of what he thinks about what the modern grappling game is missing or could be better at?
I think the experience that Craig has now, especially training Evoke and studying the MMA, I think he has such a high level grappling. And he does can organize and structure that very good. That I think he gave a couple good points for Jack. You know, I think couple details how to get up, the cage control, how they do. They face on all his camp. He got ready for Islam the first fight. You know, the whole camp. Volk looked very good at that fight. You know, takedown defense on point, get ups on point, defense on point. And I think he gave kind of a lot of those tips for Jack. You know, I think Jack is gonna be ready for a lot of different basic scenarios, get ups, takedown defense, back defense. I think he's gonna be sharp, you know, on it. But that's what I like the most, Luca, to be honest. That's what I like when it's not easy, when I like, oh shit, he's defending here. Okay, I gotta change there. And then I change and his followers say, okay, he got it. Okay. That's when it's funny for me. When I'm like, okay, oh, he know what he's doing. That was a good get up. You know, oh, okay. Not bad. Oh, good defense. That's what get me going the most when it's not easy. When I really have to work for it and we start change jiu-jitsu, that's when my eyes start get bright and then oh my God, I like it. Okay, like you want to do jiu-jitsu, we're gonna grapple, we're gonna exchange. So if that's the case that he's gonna have the answers, I'm more intrigued to see that coming. Okay, let's grapple. Let's see how many variations you have, how many defense you have. That's what I like the most.
What does a win at UFC 299 realistically get you?
It depends. It depends on what type of win. If I go out there and get a finish and dominate Jack and show his levels, I think he get me. I'm back. I'm very close to that door to another title shot. Maybe one more. We'll see. When I hear Dana White saying he get a three opponents for Leon, he gets me like, oh my God, okay, the law is not clear. He's not the one that he's supposed to be the number one contender, but he's not. Like whenever I start hearing that, I say, okay, I gotta do my homework. My homework right now is to go out there and make a statement. If I go out there and get it big and get a good win, I think I'm gonna be very close to a title shot. Maybe with a little bit more homework to do, or maybe not.
All right, very quickly, I appreciate your time. Give me a prediction for the main event, excuse me, the co-main event, Dustin Poirier, Benoit Saint Denis.
Oh my God, they put me in trouble right now. Uh, I think Benoit is a beast. I think he has everything to become a champion. He's a monster. He's huge. I don't even know how he makes 155, but the guy is danger mentality. I love that military mentality. Those guys really come to a war. But Darcy's a dog, bro. I don't bet, but if I would bet, I don't bet against Dusty. Freaking guy shows up every single time. So I think it's gonna be a crazy fight, but I think Dusty can get the job done.
Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera, main event.
I like both guys too. You just put me on the on the situation right now. But I think O'Malley's the fastest guy. O'Malley's more creative. O'Malley, he won that one back. Otherwise, he would not call for that one. And I think if Petito was too much a crazy improvement, I don't think Sean will call for that rematch right now. The way he call it, the way he make it happen, he knows something that we don't know. And then I got Sean O'Malley still the champion for this fight.
Last but not least, just want to pick your brain as somebody who's been in the fight game. To what extent were you surprised by Topuria's win over Volkanovski?
Not really, not much. I this guy came here to the gym. He did half of his camp against Josh Emmett here, and he knocked out three of my teammates. Out,
Ooh,
not down, out with the big gloves. With the big gloves. I'm gonna say that one more time. With the big
Jesus
gloves.
Christ.
Out. And I saw he training, I saw him grappling, and bro, he's not a big dude. He's not a tall dude, but he's solid. And the other day that we were wrestling, and then we changed groups. I was having a war, a couple guys, and then sometimes we do that at the end of the practice. Okay, we done. Class is over. Okay, but the last thing we have, keep with the partners, a takedown. Whoever score is over. And then I was having a war with someone. Then eventually, or I got taken down, or I didn't take down. We were done, and then we started jogging. And then Topuria was in the middle with a high level wrestler from freaking Dagestan. And that guy is so strong and good defense. And then he took the guy down, Dagestani wrestler. That's when I'm like, man, this guy can do it all because I know his grapple is a high level. I just saw him knocking a couple guys out, and he's that strong and he can wrestle. This guy's gonna be champion. And then I I I I gave an interview to Michael Bisping before the fight, and I said, bro, I love Volk, I love his family, his dad, his team, but Topuria is gonna become a champion.
Hmm. I thought so too, but I wanted to talk to another smart man who knew what was going on. So I went to Gilbert Burns. Gilbert, I cannot wait to see your fight, man. UFC
Thank
299
you.
can't get here soon enough. Of course, the date everyone knows is going to be on pay-per-view, but it'll be March 9th, Saturday, March 9th,
Yeah.
live from Miami, a home game for you. Gilbert, thank you for your time. Can't wait to see you fight. Really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. You're welcome, Luca. Thank you.